sharp a knife. Now all we need to do is track down one of those tentacle things. Hope the moths like that bark as much as Dexian said they would. Look at them. They've definitely taken a liking to you. And unless I'm seeing things, you're starting to glimmer. Looks like we're on the right track. Nervous? Okay? Almost thought I lost you there. You went as white as the snow. I never trusted those damn scrolls. Who knows what those things could have done to you? Just look... What about Ariel's bow? Do you know where we can find it? Then it's almost over. We can finally rewrite the prophecy as we see fit. Where is this Darkfall cave? Then let's get going. I want to get there before my father has a chance to track us down. Not much. If you read any history, it shows up from time to time, but it's a... As far as I know, though, it's never been held by a vampire. That would be a new one. Ariel is one of the elven gods. He's with the rest of them, and the way I've heard it, the sun represents... Supposedly, the bow draws its energy from the... That part, I don't know. Once we have it, hopefully it'll be obvious.
Come forward. You have nothing to fear here. I am Knight Paladin Gelabor. Welcome to the Great Chantry of Auriel. Auriel, Alkosh, Akatosh, so many different names for the sovereign of the Snow Elves. I prefer Snow Elf. The name Falmer usually holds a negative meaning to most travelers. Those twisted creatures you call Falmer, I call the Betrayed. Of course, you're here for Auriel's bow. Why else would you be here? I can help you get it, but first, I must have your assistance. I need you to kill Archcurate Vertha, my brother. The kinship between us is gone. I don't understand what he's become, but he's no longer the brother I once knew. It was the Betrayed. They did something to him. I just don't know why Auriel would allow. They swept into the Chantry without warning, and began killing everyone. The Chantry was a place of peaceful worship. I led a small group of paladins, but we were no match for the Betrayed. They slaughtered everyone, and stormed the inner sanctum where I believe they corrupted Vertha. He's alive. I've seen him, but something's wrong. He never looks as though he's in pain or under duress. He just stands there and watches, as though waiting. Leaving the way shrines unguarded would be violating my sacred duty as a Knight Paladin of, and an assault on the Betrayed guarding the inner sanctum would only end with my death. Yes, let me show you. This structure is known as a way shrine. They were used for meditation and for transport when the Chantry was a place of enlightenment. Prelates of these shrines were charged with teaching the mantras of Auriel to our initiates.
What's that basin in the center signify?
Once the initiate completed his mantras, he'd dip a ceremonial ewer in the basin at the way shrine's center and proceed to the next way shrine.
So these initiates had to lug around a heavy pitcher of water. Marvelous. How long would they have to do that?
Well, once the initiate's enlightenment was complete, he'd bring the ewer to the Chantry's inner sanctum. Pouring the contents of the ewer into the sacred basin of the sanctum would allow him to enter for an audience with the Archcurate himself.
All that just to end up dumping it out? Makes no sense to me.
It's symbolic. I don't expect you to understand.
So, let's get this straight. We need to do all that nonsense to get into the temples so we can kill your brother and claim Ariel's bow.
I know how it all sounds. But if there was another way, I'd have done it long ago. The only way to get to my brother is by following in the initiate's footsteps and traveling from way shrine to way shrine, just as they did. The first lay at the end of Darkfall Passage, a cavern that represents the absence of enlightenment. There are 5 in total, spread far apart. Caves? Oh no. The Chantry encompasses far more than a few caves. But before I send you on your way, you'll need the Initiate's ewer. Once you've located a way shrine, there'll be a spectral... They will allow you to draw the waters from the shrine's basin, as if you've been enlightened. This may be the last time we're able to converse. If you have any questions before you leave, I suggest you ask them. Otherwise, all I can do now is grant you my hopes for a safe journey. Questions? They're ghosts of the snow elf priests that tended the way shrines before being slaughtered by the... Through the grace of Auriel, they were restored to their spectral form to enable them to continue. I'm afraid in their current form, they still believe the Chantry to be an active center of... They won't respond to you in any way other than believing that you're an initiate. This is, or was, the epicenter of... The Chantry was constructed near the beginning of the First Era to provide a retreat for those that wish to become enlightened. Our empire had temples to some of the other deities, Trinimac, Sirabane, but those temples paled in comparison to the glory of the Chantry in its weight. Oh yes. They represented the steps the initiates took. Sadly, the magic used to construct these wonders were lost long before I arrived here. We were once a wealthy and prosperous society that occupied it. Unfortunately, we were constantly at war with the Nords, who claimed the land as their ancestral home. In a manner of speaking. We had always maintained an uneasy alliance with the underground-dwelling dwarves, and when faced with extinction, we turned to... Surprisingly, they agreed to protect us, but demanded a terrible price. The blinding of our race. There were splinter groups that resisted the agreement, but when it was all said and done, those elves were either slaughtered, vanished, or gave up and took the dwarves' body. I've often asked myself that very same question. The blinding of my race was supposedly certainly not enough to devolve them into the sad and twisted beings they've become. The Chantry is quite isolated, so it took some time for word of the dwarves. By the time the compact had been completed, it was too late for us to even Correct. We only numbered perhaps 100 at the time, so our presence... Ironically, our undoing came at the hands of our own people. Yes, they swarmed the Chantry in vast numbers, and I assume that the Archcurate was corrupted by them when they found a way to breach the inner sanctum. Verther and myself are the only two snow elves that remain. May Auriel light your path.
Welcome, Initiate. Then behold Ariel's gift, my child. May it light your path as you seek tranquility within the inner sanctum. Welcome, Initiate. Are you prepared to honor the mantras of Ariel and fill your Then behold Ariel's gift, my child. May it speed your journey to the inner sanctum. You've arrived at the Way Shrine of Resolution. Are you prepared to honor the mantras of Ariel and fill your vessel with his enlightenment? Then go forth, child. May the enrichment of Ariel strengthen your resolve as you undertake your journey to the inner sanctum. May Ariel's glow shield you from your enemy. You've reached the way shrine of learning, Initiate. Are you prepared to honor the mantras of Ariel and fill your... Ariel bless you, child, for you are a step closer to the inner sanctum and everlasting wisdom.
This must be that beautiful Skyrim weather I've always heard about. Where'd you come from? Done and done. Who's there? Get back here! Keep the door now. Who's there?
You found the Way Shrine of Radiance, Initiate. Are you prepared to honor the mantras of Ariel and fill your vessel with his enlightenment? May the blessings of Ariel protect you as you climb the road to the inner sanctum and final enlightenment. May Ariel's radiance fill your heart with joy.
come here expecting to claim Ariel's bow. You've done exactly as I predicted and brought your fetching companion to me.
Wait, is he talking about me?
Which, I'm sorry to say, means your usefulness is at an end.
I knew I
Nothing but your own death!
Watch out! He's pulling down the ceiling! He's up there on the docket. Come on. Enough further. Give us the bow.
How dare you! I was the arch-curate of Ariel, girl. I had the ears of a god.
Until the betrayed corrupted you. Yes, we've heard this sad story.
Gelibor and his kind are easily manipulated fools. Look into my eyes, Serana. You tell me what I am.
You're a vampire? But Ariel should have protected you.
The moment I was infected by one of my own initiates, Ariel turned his back on me. I swore I'd have my revenge, no matter what the cost.
You want to take revenge on a god?
Ariel himself may have been beyond my reach, but his influence on our world wasn't. All I needed was the blood of a vampire and his own weapon, Ariel's bow.
The blood of a vampire. Ariel's bow. It was you? You created that prophecy?
A prophecy that lacked a single final ingredient. The blood of a pure vampire. The blood of a daughter of Cold Harbor.
You were waiting all this time for someone with my blood to come along. Well, too bad for you. I intend on keeping it. Let's see if your blood has any power to it.
What trickery is
Where'd you
this?
come from? Done and farewell. Do you need something? Yes?
So the deed has been done. The restoration of this way shrine means that Verther must be dead, and the betrayed no longer have control over him. What? What are you talking about? A vampire. I see. That would explain much. Deep inside, it brings me joy that the betrayed weren't to blame for what happened here. Because that means there's still hope that they might one day shed their hatred and learn to believe in Auriel once again. It's been a long time since I felt that way, and it's been long overdue. You risked everything to get Auriel's bow, and in turn, you've restored the Chantry. I can't think of a more deserving champion to capture. If you wish to learn more about the bow, or obtain sun-hallowed arrows for it, I'd be more than happy to help. You've but to ask. It's good to speak to you again. Even with Verther gone, and the inner sanctum destroyed, my duty as a Knight Paladin of Auriel remains. I have been sworn to protect this veil and everything it represents until I die. Farewell. If there's assistance, while it would fill me with joy to see the Chantry back to its former glory. That time has... Now that my brother's dead, it's quite possible I'm the last of our kind. There's no need for that kind of talk. I said it was possible. It's also quite possible that there are some other isolated conclaves of snow elves. I'll also assume Verther didn't exactly give you the option to stay your hand. For the time being, I will remain here on the Overlook and continue trying to keep the sanctum. You're always welcome to return here at any time, of course. The bow was said to be carried by Auriel himself into battle against the forces of Lorcan in ancient and mythic times. Its craftsmanship has no equal anywhere within Tamriel, and possibly be. The bow draws its power from Aetherius itself, channeling it through the sun. Therefore, when an arrow is loosed from the bow, it produces a magical effect very similar to... That's actually only a... With sun-hallowed arrows, you would be able to produce a much more spectacular effect, causing bursts. The sunbursts would certainly hurt anything, but is especially devastating to the undead. Well, using an arrow with the bow that's been dipped in blood may cause it to function differently, corrupting its purpose. That's, of course, if you're foolish enough to try it. I can actually assist you in that. If you were to bring me some good quality elven arrows, I could imbue them with the proper incantations and rituals. Absolutely. I can only do 20 at a time. So if you want the rest of your arrows blessed... Absolutely. I can only do 20 at a time. So if you want the rest... I feel nothing but sympathy for the betrayed, despite my action. But I'm afraid that they're well beyond a cure at this point. The twisted forms you've seen didn't occur overnight. It isn't a... The dwarves may have stolen their sight, but it took many generations for them to become what they are today. Perhaps they'll never return to their former appearance. But over the centuries, if a line of communication could be established with them, it's the only way they'll discover that they weren't always malignant. They were once a proud and prosperous race. Farewell, friend. May the glow of Auriel shield you from your enemies.
It's not as shiny as I was... Still, it's beautiful. Well, before we spoke to my mother in the Soul Cairn, I would have said we bring the bow to my father. But after everything with her, I don't think we can trust him. I keep thinking that there's got to be another way, but he'll turn on us both the moment he gets the chance. No, he has to die. We have no... Thank you. Somehow I knew you'd understand. Yes? It sounds like... That's the last bit of the prophecy. The blood of a daughter of Cold Harbor can corrupt the bow. Oh, what is it? It sounds like... That's the last bit of the prophecy. The blood of a daughter of Cold Harbor can corrupt the bow. So I am. I guess we could use my blood. Do you have any arrows? Elven arrows? I'm not going to just bleed on any old thing. Let's just get this over with. I don't think you can ever be ready to kill your parent. I'm doing my best to not think of him as my father anymore.
Leave me in peace.
So, you've returned. Is your pet keeping you entertained?
You know why we're here.
Of course I do. You disappoint me, Serana. You've taken everything I provided for you and thrown it all away for this pathetic half-breed vampire.
Provided for me? Are you insane? You've destroyed our family. You've killed other vampires, all over some prophecy that we barely understand. No more. I'm done with you. You will not touch her.
So, I see this dragon has fangs. Your voice drips with the venom of your mother's influence. How alike you've become.
No. Because unlike her... I'm not afraid of you. Not anymore.
And you. It appears I have you to thank for turning my daughter against me. I knew it was only a matter of time before your ambition outgrew your loyalty. A small price to pay for the betterment of our kind. Oh, come now. Spare me your notions of kinship. You've simply used Serana in an attempt to take away what should rightfully be mine. The vampire is eternal, and with immortality comes the revelation that these bonds never endure. It's fleeting, momentary at best. Yes, quite. I'm growing weary of speaking to you and my traitorous daughter. I'll give you a single chance to turn over the bow to me. There will not be a second. Very well, then. You leave me no choice. Ariel will be mine.
This won't end well for you.
Let's finish this. I'll rend the flesh from your bones.
Now that's done. I'm not sure. I'll probably stay here for as long as I think we can rebuild here. Make my family's legacy something more respectable. Of course, if you've got any more adventures planned. That's what I wanted to hear.